Hi guys, welcome back to 10 Minute Reviews. Jason here, bringing you today's video, and my fuzzy little co-star Freya. She is right here with me. As always guys, please hit those like and subscribe buttons. Keep saying it, just a small little family channel. Oh, I found her crazy button. Small little family channel. We just love to talk about books. We're going to keep doing it no matter what, but we would appreciate any support you guys might want to give us. Also, don't forget, check the links down below, links to our Discord channel, to links to today's book, through our Amazon affiliates account, and we could use the traffic through that as well. And anything else I can think is applicable. Thank you, by the way, to our patrons. Appreciate every single one of you guys. Today I want to talk about a series that I've already talked about. I want to talk about Book 2, and I'm talking about System Universe Book 2 by SunriseCV. If you haven't read Book 1 yet, first slap yourself, then go read it. There are going to be a few spoilers for Book 1 in this. I try not to have spoilers for the current book I'm reviewing, although a few of them sneak out. But there definitely will be spoilers for Book 1 in this. So if you have not read it yet, I would go read it or watch Book 1's review and then go read it. Otherwise, here we go. So as usual, I'm not going to talk about the 4 categories because I talked about them in Book 1. So I'm just going to, or in Video 1, review of Book 1. So I'm just going to talk about the book. And guys, it's absolutely fantastic. I was blown away with how good the first book was, System Universe 1, and I still haven't gotten around to it yet, but I'm going to check to see if the author's written anything else, because just, again, phenomenal book, absolutely incredible series, incredible book, great writing style, it's so entertaining and gripping, and again, I couldn't put it down. So it's rare for a Book 1 to be that great. Usually these series tend to get better through the first few books, especially for these indie authors, and then it starts declining when they're really stretching things out too much. But in this case, Book 1 is absolutely fantastic, and Book 2 was absolutely fantastic. I can't say which one was actually better or which one was my favorite. Just incredible. So in Book 2 now, Derek is now traveling to the closest town. He spent Book 1 in the village and learning more about this new system he is under, or just how monstrous and overpowered he is, and how the nobility works and the kingdom works. So now he needs to expand things out. So, and he's got ideas thanks to this unique class he managed to get Brandy, plus he's still training Thomas, and he's got Sylvie, his companion, and then a few others that, Raina, and a few others that are his friends that he wants to look out for, but he has some big plans for himself and for Brandy. And in order to do that, he needs to find the bigger cities. So first, before he goes to one of the major cities, he just goes to the nearest town. If he was spent the first book in a little village, this time around he's going to a town, a major town. And these towns are named after the primary noble that controls them. So typically, he's one of the strongest ones in the city. Now, of course, in Book 1, Derek had already met, I guess you could say, the guard captain, in a way, of this of one of the noble families, not the ruling family, one of the noble families out there, and unfortunately also happened to kill one of their children, although absolutely deservedly so. So one of the first things Eric is going to do in this book, he's actually going to meet this family. He's going to end up meeting them, and he's going to learn more about the world and how it works, and the nobility, and how money works, and the dungeons and the levels and the Adventurers Guild. So in Book 2, he travels to this town, Torith, and he joins the Adventurers Guild. Now, unfortunately, he's still managing to hide his level for most people, although his actual raw power is difficult for him to hide. So going to the Adventurers Guild, now unfortunately he can only test out for the highest rank that particular small town guild is able to test out to, which is definitely not where he's at. But he does join the Adventurers Guild. He gets his badge, but along the way he also ends up gaining an enormous amount of status by getting a membership in an extremely elite, I guess you could say restaurant, although as we learn later it's almost more of a hospitality thing. It's a restaurant, but they do have hotels and such like that. But they are part of the kingdom, and yet they are also almost a separate power. They do not belong to the nobility, and yet the owner of this restaurant is one of the most powerful beings within the kingdom, and is also a very good person. You could almost look at this as an independent spy organization in a way, because you've got this incredibly powerful person with some incredibly powerful people below them that owns this elite exclusive club that it has outposts and pieces everywhere. So she has eyes and ears everywhere, and Derek manages to get in with them, also manages to gain even more power through learning more about the system and his abilities and what he can do. and finds some interesting ways to make money, and also find some interesting ways to hopefully try and get some more coffee. Because for those of you guys that are coffee drinkers, you know, if you left Earth and you had a small supply of coffee, one of the first things you would want to do is figure out how to get more goddamn coffee. So he does figure that out, or at least he starts on those steps. He makes some friends with some nobles, and Derek, being Derek and his incredibly overpowered ridiculousness, he ends up making some enemies, and he ends up making some very, very powerful enemies. Now, of course, their raw power is not equal to his, but Derek now has to worry about other people. Thomas, Brandy, Raina, the small little village he came from, that dungeon that he had cleared, the story that he already put out about how that dungeon got cleared, and covering for killing that noble that he had killed. So he has to navigate all of this. Although Derek's not very politic and doesn't tend to navigate stuff so much as just storm his way through, just bust his way through, break his way through. Very, very, very rarely does he not just use his strength and his power, because it's so overwhelming. Though he is starting to realize that he also needs to gain a little bit more power. Book 2, like I said, Book 2 was just as good as Book 1, if not better. I do like the more expanded out world and learning a lot more about how this kingdom works, and especially the restaurant and how it's basically a chain in a way. Well, it is a chain, but it's almost a kingdom unto itself. It's almost a kingdom within a kingdom in a way. And how nobles can fall from grace, fall from power, can gain power. Learns a little bit more about the academy, which is another way for people to gain status within this kingdom. And he continues to not have a particularly great view of the king himself, but again, continues to make major enemies and major allies. And his allies are interesting. He definitely takes a lot of Earth mentality, Earth business acumen, and Earth loyalty, and brings it to this world as he is building. You can tell that at some point Derek is going to have almost his own little empire built up because of his raw strength and his abilities and his knowledge. He's trying to bring things. I mean, obviously he's trying to bring coffee into this world, but he's trying to bring other things into this world as well. Absolutely fascinating, and learning more and more and more about this world. The author is really building an awesome world, a really cool world, and this series is just fantastic. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We will catch you guys next time. Bye now.